speech, and Lloyd will start with the evaluation.
Thank you. These projects in this manual, and there are a couple of others that have these long multi-part projects, are really tricky. There are a lot of moving parts and a lot of things can go wrong. I thought you pulled this off really well, Stephen. The situation you picked, the conversation at a bus stop, is a tough one. If you think about the real world, generally you don't expect, and most of us really don't want to get into conversations when we're, say, standing at bus stops or in lines at grocery stores or similar type things. You just want to get on with it. And I think in the real world, a lot of people would look at you like you had gone crazy if you started to strike up a conversation. But it worked pretty well, I think. It was a sort of a practical one. There are a bunch of guideline questions here in the manual. I want to talk about 3 of them. How did the speaker establish a common interest with the other person? You started off with a really trite scenarios, you know, how's the weather, you know, you know, you look like you're dressed for a profession, you know, that kind of thing. But it seemed to work okay. And I was thinking, well, it wasn't that interesting, but then I thought, well, I can't think of anything better I would have done either, so great to me. How effectively did the speaker use open-ended questions to carry on the conversation? In the explanatory pages in the manual, they make a big deal out of the open-ended questions. Supposedly that's the magic key to all conversation. You started a few of those, but you didn't follow them up very well. You know, and then you use the fallback position of the Seahawks performance. Now, on the one hand, it's pretty much a cliche, but on the other hand, it worked. It's something you could count on a typical person around here knowing something about, maybe caring about, and as luck would have it, Jake did, so you could have a conversation about that. I'm wondering what would have happened if he had said, I don't pay any attention at all to football.
I never do.
Yeah, which would have been, that was a real possibility in a conversation. How well did the speaker advance from one level to another? They break conversation down into levels: small talk, fact disclosure, viewpoints and opinions, and personal feelings. You really stuck mostly to the small talk level, which I guess is level 1. A little bit of fact disclosure stuff in level 2. But the more I looked over this guideline here, how you're supposed to advance through these levels, I thought, man, that is really an artificial thing to do. They're again in the real world, I can't imagine anyone doing it the way they say to do it. So it worked pretty well, I thought. How comfortable did the speaker appear? That's one of your strong points. You always look comfortable when you're up here, and I think you have a natural way with people. You like people, you get along with people, and it showed in this, I think, again. What could the speaker have said differently that may have been more effective? Beats me. You know, in the context of the scenario, well, in the context of the scenario, the bus stop conversation, it was probably about as good as it could have been, I thought. So, good job with this. I'm looking forward to seeing Project 2, the successful negotiator for your big hits.
And could we please have the timers report, please?